Andrew Steele of Great Britain claiming the B race in that. Kelly Proper, excellent results in the women's 200, 23-29, still close. So now, the feature event of the night, the famous Morton Mile. Will Lear winning this 3 times. He is injured at the moment, but they invited him anyway, and he has been injured for the past few weeks, so they did know that he wasn't going to be able to defend his title, but he is a great champion, he is a great winner, and it is fabulous to see him here. We heard from him at the top of the programme. So here's the field for the 2015 Morton Mile. Eoin Everard, John Travers, Thomas Cotter. For Ireland, Greg Kalinowski of Poland, who's Nick Willis's training partner. Julian Matthews of New Zealand, currently at Providence, New Zealand Junior 1500 and 3000 champion, and coming from a great sporting family in New Zealand as his father John, mother Susan, both squash champions. Not just any old champions, Susan Devoy, a 4-time world champion, and their first crown 1985 in Dublin at Fitzwilliam. Conor Healy for Ireland is one of our pacemakers, along with Tom Marshall of Great Britain. Riley Masters of the United States, who we saw in Cork a few weeks ago, competed in the 2013 Morton Mile. Ryan Gregson from Australia, his 3rd Morton Games in a row, competed at London 2012. Mac Fleet of the USA, Pat Casey as well, and Jordan McNamara, all from the USA. Ryan Gregson, might this be his year? So all of the athletes will be announced individually. This is Jeff Riseley of Australia. He'll be doing very well if he can get a big result here. And alongside, wearing 49, Mac Fleet of the USA, the NCAA champion from 2013 and 2014. 3:56.77, his lifetime best. And this is where the excitement just builds gradually as the race gets ever closer, Dick.
Oh yeah, last year we had such a wonderful race. Won 3:51 stadium record, Will Lear, and he became a folk hero that night. It was just a wonderful way to send the crowd home. The Morton Mile is just one of the great iconic miles in the world. It's famous and it's full. It always attracts, of course, the people who live in the land where miles are run, where miles are driven. The Australias, the Canadas, the New Zealands, the Americas, the Irelands obviously. Doesn't mean a whole lot to the Continentals. Interestingly, in the field tonight, there's only one metric man, the pole, and everybody else is familiar with miles and what 4 minute means. 4 minutes, there's 2 Irish sub 4 minute milers in the field tonight. John Travers had his great breakthrough last year of 3:55. Eoin Everard from Kilkenny a couple of years ago ran 3:58. And with those runs, they put themselves up there with the great Irish milers. John, I'm sure, is thinking of a possible victory tonight. Last year it was so exciting when he made his move. He hit the front and he hung on to run his 3:55. I suspect tonight he'll have higher ambitions. His form is good. He ran well in the World Student Games there recently in Beijing. He ran well in the European indoors. He's come of age now as an athlete. He's ready now to join the higher echelons, and he should feel fully entitled to get in there and mix it. Conor Healy of Clonliffe will take out the early pace. I love to see the New Zealand vest in there. Number 9, Julian Matthews, clad in all black. When I see the all black of New Zealand, I think of John Walker, I think of Rod Dixon, Dick Quacks, Peter Snell, and the power and the grace that they've always brought to the mile. Well, Julian is here tonight, and he's carrying on the tradition. His fellow countryman Hamish Carson is there, number 6, but sadly Hamish is wearing the away strip tonight. He's not wearing the all black. But we've still got a great field here tonight, Will, and I think we can get a whole host of men under 4 minutes because the conditions are good. The wind is very light, and the starter is about to call them under orders.
Yeah, John Travers in this finished 9th at the World University Games in Gwangju in Korea after the sad passing away of his father, which you will have read about. But it was a great performance, and the decision obviously was made that he would compete, and how well he did. So this to field, wearing 2, Duncan Phillips, the USA, the 5-time NCAA All-American of the University of Arkansas. Wearing 9, Julian Matthews of New Zealand, 3:57.22. Indoors, his personal best in the mile. Wearing 1, Jordan McNamara of the USA. Interesting to see what he'll be able to come up with. This cracking field. Sadly, no Will there due to injury. But we will have a worthy champion no matter what. We always do.
Most of the athletes are bearing numbers between 1 and 20. Number 49, Mac Fleet, there is a late addition to the field. Not sure whether he's pace or competing, but I do know that Conor Healy will be responsible for the early pace. Conor from the local club Clonliffe Harriers, the promoters of this great meeting.
One of the biggest crowds we've seen in years. And here's the climax, the Morton Mile. McNamara, oh, there's been a collision right at the back. There's been a collision straight away. Not sure it involved any of the men we were expecting to do well here.
Eoin Everard is down. He's down at the back of the field. A very bad blow for Eoin. Hope he can fight his way into it.
Well, remember, he broke the 4-minute mile here 2 years ago, 3:58.93, and it is Everard who's having to recover a collision right at the back straight away. But Everard recovering well, and he's coming back into the field. Conor Healy, Tom Marshall are our 2 pacers, wearing numbers 17 and 18, so taking them out of the equation. We're being led out by Ryan Gregson of Australia at the moment, a regular visitor to these shores. Riley Masters of the USA behind him. Then in 3rd place, wearing 1, Jordan McNamara, and also just behind them, Thomas Riva of Canada, and also Jeff Riseley of Australia, and they come through with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, not that fast, 58.97. Interesting guy in 3rd place, Ryan Gregson of Australia, possibly the form man of the field, 3:52 miler. Conor Healy is doing a good job, but the pack is very reluctant to take on the challenge, and that is disappointing. John Travers is really a bit too far back at this stage for a man who may be entertaining thoughts of getting into the mix.
It's Conor Healy who's stepping off the track, the first pacemaker. So Riley Masters in the yellow wearing 13, and Ryan Gregson of Australia wearing 14. Stepping it up behind our current pacemaker, Tom Marshall of Great Britain. Then a bit of a gap back towards Jeff Riseley of Australia and Greg Kalinowski of Poland, and a little further back behind them, Duncan Phillips of the United States. It looks to be Pat Casey of the USA as well, but they're tucked in quite well at the moment. Now we've got a lead bunch of 4 realistically behind our pacemaker with 2 laps to go.
1:58 at halfway. Pace is steady without being spectacular. Ryan Gregson in 2nd place looks very threatening. Riley Masters in 3rd, looking good. A little group of 5 with a slight lead over the rest. John Travers now moving up. He's in 7th place, trying to close that gap, trying to run as evenly as possible. We know John can kick, but we need him to be closer to the action than he is right now. Still Tom Marshall leads from Ryan Gregson, from Riley Masters, as they round at the steeplechase with about 500 metres to go.
There was a little bit of bumping there, but everybody survived, and it's Ryan Gregson of Australia taking it up behind our pacemaker, who steps away now, does Tom Marshall. So, as they go into the closing straight, being urged all around here, Ryan Gregson just slipping back into 2nd place. It's Greg Kalinowski of Poland who's in the lead at the bell. Ryan Gregson of Australia in 2nd place, and now moving up to the inside, Riley Masters of the USA up in a 2nd, but it's Kalinowski who leads for Poland.
And as we head down the back straight, it's anybody's race. 2 Aussies, 2 Americans on the pole. And Tomas Cotter is in about 8th or 9th place, and he's running a blinder. He's probably the leading Irishman at this stage, as John Travers suffers one of those nights nobody wants to have, and John is out of contention right now.
So Kalinowski winding it up, and now look at Pat Casey in the green. Not the green of Ireland, but he's representing the USA. Casey has moved up into second place here. And did Riley Masters go a little bit too early? Jeff Riseley back in fourth place, and Duncan Phillips in the grey. Watch out for him as well. There could be a really good finish coming out of him. But it's Pat Casey moving it on for the United States. And Casey having to defend it from Jeff Riseley. It's Riseley against Casey. Riseley's going to win for Australia. Riseley wins and Casey second. And Riley Masters in third. Duncan Phillips in fourth for the USA. It's 3:57.09. Oh, what a brilliant result in the end from the Australian. He did so impressively well. And Jeff Riseley wins the Morton Mile.
Really good win, very strong finish. Riseley was way out of it there at halfway, worked his way back up to the leaders, and boy could he run a good fast last lap. He was very good. Interesting race in that some of the early protagonists faded. Pat Casey came, looked as if he had it for a while. Then Riseley came. Gregson, who had been running so well for Australia, went back. Not sure what Tomas Cotter got, but it was fast. Tomas Cotter had a brilliant run, very close to 4 minutes, I think. And that would be huge new territory for him. And this just shows you what this kind of meet can bring out of people when they stick to their task and they believe in themselves. Tomas Cotter, I think his best time up to this might have been 4:7, 4:8 for the mile. But today he came right down close to 4 minutes. And the County Louth will be pretty proud of him tonight. But Riseley, a deserving winner, a smart winner, ran very well. One of the many Aussies, yet another Aussie based over in Teddington, so a good night for them. So that's two cracking miles to finish off the evening.
Yeah, great victory for Jeff Riseley. A fabulous victory from this international athlete from Australia, about to speak to a former international rugby league player from Australia.
Jeff Riseley, a decent performance. You were happy coming home in Australia, obviously.
Yeah, very happy. I've travelled from Sweden 2 days ago. I had a race and wasn't sure how the legs were going to respond, so I sort of just wanted to sit back and watch and cover the moves, and yeah, I'm really glad I hadn't had the legs in the last 100.
Talk about that travelling when you're going from one event to another and you're only a couple of days apart.
Yeah.
You talk about the legs. How difficult is it?
Yeah, it's hard. It took me 11 hours to get here from Karlstad in Sweden. So
how did you travel?
I had a 3.5-hour drive to Gothenburg, and then I flew to Copenhagen, then I flew to Dublin, and then come here. So I didn't do anything today, just relaxed, and yeah, no, great. First time I've been here, and the promoters are just unbelievable. They're some of the most passionate people about running I've ever seen, and you know, they were really good to welcome us here, and yeah, I'm happy to. I think the first Aussie since 2007, so that's good.
Yeah, I think you are the first non-American actually since 2007, so
really?
Good on you for an Aussie. Good stuff. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting year this year one, isn't it? World Championships, and then obviously next year Rio Olympics. So it's obviously training-wise, you're using everything to work towards next year as well.
Yeah, and you know, I ran 144 in Lignano a few weeks back, and I ran like 130k, and sort of left me a bit flat for Sweden, and I didn't quite run as well as I liked. It was really windy, and I didn't know what was going to happen today. So, you know, the training's paying off, and I'm building towards Beijing. I think we're about a month out now, so this is my last race, and just some more training to be done.
And the conditions tonight for running a decent mile were fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was like the wind dropped, and it's perfect. You know, the lights came on, and yeah, it was really exciting. You know, we didn't quite get after it tonight, but that's about all I had tonight, so I'm glad I got the win.
Well, hopefully you won't be travelling next time by the way you came over here. Well done.
Yeah, no, and thanks so much for having me, guys. And hello to Mum and my girlfriend and stuff. They're watching on the live stream back in Australia now, so yeah, sweet. Thanks.